Hi, my name is Dolores Vinci, and I'm the owner of Vinci Rakos Who Makes Sense, a company that specializes in fragrance and body and bath care products, which everything we do is online. The last time we posted a video, we talked about the fact that my business went from having 50 fragrances to over 200 now. And what I wanted to talk about with you today is how it's possible for somebody to purchase a fragrance online without having smelt the fragrance beforehand. What I've done is to make it easier for everyone, I've written the copy for my fragrances based on what the client thinks the fragrance smells like. Now you may say, isn't that a little unusual? Well, what I found over the years, I worked in the cosmetic industry for companies like Jafra and Max Factor Revlon, and also Clairol. And over the years, I found out that a lot of clients weren't quite sure how to describe a fragrance or to let you know what their favorite notes were. And if they said something to you like, well, I don't like the fragrance, say musk, and then they found out that my earth fragrance, which is my signature fragrance for the last 30 years, is made with musk. All of a sudden they'll say, oh my gosh, I didn't know I liked musk. So keeping that in mind, I started working with my clients and we started writing the copy of what people thought the fragrances smelled like. And to make it easier, I came out with a program, which is my sample program, where a client can purchase 7 fragrances for $25 instead of $40. And this way they can pick 7 fragrances and then they can evaluate them at home. And then they can call me and we can talk about it and see what they like or don't like. To make it easier also for the client, I came up with 2 lists. One, the fragrances are listed by their name. And the second way I did it was called fragrances by the predominant notes and categories. So I'm going to describe that for you. I'm going to put my glasses on right now. What I did was, as I said, the fragrances were written based on what people think are in the fragrances. And this is it to make it easier for you to pick a fragrance. I came up with 8 categories of how we divided up the fragrances to make it easier for you to sort of narrow it down what your likes are. The first category was my almond, champagne, chocolate, honey, sugar category. Basically, these scents in this category, they're basically sweeter, they're warm, toasted, roasted chocolates, flowery honeys, syrupy, fresh fruits, vanilla, coconut, spicy, but all under the same category of almond and champagne and chocolate. Then I said, you know what? We have to have a category that's more amber, oriental, spicy. And these fragrance category will accompany fragrances like carnation, cinnamon spice, amber. And basically this would make you think of the Far East. And ingredients that are more exotic, spicy, woody, amber, balsamic, refreshing, that release warmth and sensuality. A lot of men like this particular category. Another category is citrus, fresh, green, and lavender. And this category features fragrances that have bergamot, lemon, lime, mandarin orange, grapefruit, that are all fresher and lighter in character. They're very lively green scents, such as my cashmere and atlas and English fragrances. Then surprising, one of the categories that we had a lot of interest in over the years is the coconut category. So we came out with coconut berries, coconut gardenia, coconut jasmine, and basically they're very yummy, smooth, almost buttery and nutty fragrances that have a sweetness but more of a tropical sweetness, basically all revolving around coconut. This is probably the most popular category we have though, and it's our earthy, leather, musky, patchouli, and woody series of fragrances. This is the category with my signature scent of Earth is in, which is a very warm and musky scent. Also what's in here are patchoulis. I've got dark patchoulis, sweet patchoulis, light patchoulis, and fragrances like, also amber is also in this category because sometimes you have to put a fragrance in more than one category. So it's easier for the client to determine their favorites. Another category that is floral combinations and flowers. You know, almost all fragrances have a little rose in them, which is one of the oldest notes used in a fragrance. So what I did is I decided to combine them all together in this particular category because it allowed you to look at fragrances that have notes of lily, honeysuckle, fragrances that are probably more lighter, with an intensity, but yet something that could be a little softer. And where the fragrances were too intense, like gardenia, I came out with this sheer gardenia. So a lot of these fragrances here were also developed as a sheer version of themselves. I also came out with a fruity floral combination list with fruits and florals because a lot of the floral fragrances have fruity notes in it, but I wanted to separate them so you could determine if you like just a little bit of a hint of a floral in your fragrance. And I have fragrances in here like chamomile that have a little bit of an apple twist to it, flirtatious, apricot, and the fragrance that was very interesting for a lot of my clients was something called rain. The reason I came out with a list of rain fragrances because these are very light on the very airy side, very fresh and watery notes. And the names are things like After the Rain, Egyptian Rain, Frisia Rain. And basically all these notes are lighter, brighter. And they also can be combined with fragrances that are a little on the heavier side. But what's nice about this is almost like a fragrance without wearing a heavy fragrance. Now, the last category that I developed was vanilla. Now, we know that vanilla has been used in probably almost every fragrance also. But this particular group, we know that vanilla has a spicy, woody, almost a sweet, soft, and warm undertone to it. But what I did is I decided to feature fragrances here that were fragrances that also had vanillas in them, like my Egyptian vanilla, my French blend vanilla, French vanilla, which is something that I've had in the line for about 30 years. So this is a combination of just regular vanillas, like sweet vanillas or sheer vanillas. But then I put this list and I put in here the fragrances from my 200 that had predominant notes of vanilla in it. And this has become a very popular category for my clients because a lot of people like vanilla and they're not quite sure how to find a fragrance with vanilla in it. Anyway, I hope that makes it easier for you to pick a fragrance. And also the fragrances come in many different sizes. I do a 1/4 of an ounce, I do a 1/2 ounce, I do roll-ons, I do solid perfumes. But the fun thing about this is that you can actually purchase 7 fragrances for $25, reduced down from $40. And this way a client can pick those fragrances that they think they would like to experiment with. Now, my fragrances don't have any additives in them. So when you actually get the fragrance samples, it's exactly the strongest way that the fragrance will become available. Anyway, I hope that's helped you. And also I wanted to make a note that if you do want to pick fragrances, you can always call me, contact me, and I can review it with you to help you maybe choose the fragrances that are best right for what you're feeling. Okay, till next time, it's Dolores. Thank you.